Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic on the sort of Christmas Eve for crossword solvers today. Tomorrow is the Times Crossword Championship, which is always a very, very fun event, and I'm hoping actually I might even meet some people who watch these videos tomorrow for the first time, as well as of course some old friends. So so anyway, there's a big day in the crossword calendar tomorrow. I've no doubt we'll do something crossword related over the coming days to sort of update you on the results, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure that Mark will be looking for number 14, and in fact let's have a look. So what is this episode? It's we try to solve today's Times Cryptic crossword for you and talk through our thoughts such as they are. Let's have a look at how difficult today's puzzle is. Now, when I woke up this morning, I checked the snitch, which is the unofficial rating for the difficulty of today's puzzle, and I fully expected it to sort of be 200 plus, with 100 is the pass score, so 100 is an average difficulty puzzle, sort of 150, which this one was about 146. So it's very hard. It's very hard, and you can see actually if we look at some of these times, John McCabe, I think John has the fastest average solve time of anybody who's real. So there's some typists up here who I don't know whether they actually solve it on paper and then type the answers in as fast as they can, or whether they get the answers off the internet and then type the answers in as fast as they can, but they have been proved to be bogus, should we say? No, I mean, I don't want to accuse people of being necessarily absolutely bogus, but their times don't record or don't reflect the time they actually took to solve the puzzle. Whereas John's times do, and 6 minutes 41 is probably 2 minutes faster than his average time, so it's definitely a very difficult puzzle. Chloe Hutton there, 7 minutes 03. I think she came second in last year's Times Crossword Championship. I think Matthew Marcus has won the Times Crossword Championship, also 7 minutes 03. So these are definitely, I think Lily is Liam Hughes, who came third last year. Andrew Fisher is Aphis 99. I don't know, Mr. Gris is definitely real and a very good solver, but I'm not sure I know Mr. Gris' name in real life. Let's go a bit further down. Let's see it. I want to see if you can get into the... Mark won't be pleased. He won't be pleased that I've spotted that. 7 minutes 26 with an error. That will happen about, probably less than once a month, I would think, that Mark makes an error on the Times crossword. He'll be very pleased actually to get that out of the way today. And let me just think about, is there anything else I need to mention before we kick off and we actually start solving? I tell you what I should do. Oh, why? Sorry, I didn't explain why I thought the snitch would be over 200. Well, it's because today's puzzle is by John Henderson, who is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. About the last 5 puzzles that we've done one of these masterclasses for, that have been John Henderson puzzles, have been so difficult, just ludicrously difficult. Some of the hardest puzzles ever. The snitch sort of goes back for well over a decade, maybe longer, maybe 2 decades, and these puzzles have been absolutely up there in the whole pantheon of the history of recorded difficulty. So for it only to be only 150 or something like that means we should be in for light relief. Not. Anyway, let me check. I've got my dictionary. I have, but it's sort of in the wrong place. Let's put it a bit more over there. We're not going to cheat unless we get really stuck with the dictionary. We're just going to use it to I'll use it to explain things. And I will mention actually before we kick off that over on Patreon, which is our sort of, it's a site associated, there's a link to it under the video. There's lots of extra crossword content. So there's a couple of solves I've done of recent listener puzzles that have been very difficult indeed. Spyder by Sabre and Listen by Eck. and each of those solves is a sort of series, a suite of videos, if you like, because those puzzles were quite hard, and we are going to do more of those as well. I think actually Mark's solve of Spyder by Sabre might be going up soon as well, so if you want to see how Mark tackles a very difficult listener crossword, that is going to be over on Patreon in due course. Anyway, with that said and done, let's get cracking and let's click on this. That is what we're trying to do. And here we go, 1 across, 6 letters. To run slow, recording takes. Now, okay, let's do a quick refresher. Every single one of these clues contains within it a straightforward definition of the solution that we're going to enter. So if we could read these clues perfectly, we could distill this into a quick crossword. Now, cryptic, the quick definitions, the quick crossword definitions are normally quite difficult, or can be difficult in a cryptic crossword. So to say we could reduce it to a puzzle as simple as the times concise is overstating it. But in theory, we could reduce it to something like that. What's the rest of the clue? The part of the clue that isn't the definition of the answer? That is a recipe that explains how to create the answer out of different bits of other words. It might require an anagram, or moving a bit of a word to another place, or something like that. So all of these clues contain recipes, and all of them contain a straightforward definition. The straightforward definition is normally at the start or the end of the clue. And the biggest challenge that everybody who starts to learn cryptic crosswords has to overcome is, how do you read the clue to split it up so that you know which part of it is the recipe and which part of it is the definition? And even though I've been solving for a long time, it's not always, certainly with the best constructors, it's not always easy to do that. So let's try it with this clue. To run slow, recording takes. I have not, you see, this is a good example. I don't know what this is at all. I don't even know what to say about it. It's so intractable. I'm going to look at, what am I going to look at? Sure, I'm going to go for 5 down on the basis it's a phrase. And if I get it, I'll get lots of letters. Right, so 4218. Visit again soon. National Trust boards mimic animal park officer. What? It must mean visit again soon, doesn't it? Visit again soon. We'll meet to... No. Come... Is this an A? I don't know. National Trust. National Trust is very often NT, and that is because, and we'll come across this, I've no doubt, in the rest of the puzzle, but things that can be abbreviated have to be supported by the dictionary. So if we go to NT in the dictionary, we will find, National Trust. There it is, National Trust. So that is why National Trust here could be NT in terms of the recipe. So NT, boards, mimic. So can we think of a word that means mimic? Ape, perhaps? To ape is to copy. Animal park officer, ranger. Don't know, no idea. Right, 5 across, 8 letters. Lives or lives so devastated after daughters break up. Okay, I can do this one. That's finally one I understand. So again, if you're not sure what the answer is, read the clue and try to decide for yourself, where do you think the recipe is? Which part of the clue is the recipe? Which part of it is the definition? And if you think the definition is lives, no, it's not. It's not. It's break up. We're looking for an 8-letter word that means break up. And the trick here is this word devastated. it screams anagram. If we devastate the letters of lives so, we're going to anagram them. We're going to move them, and that anagram of lives so is only 7 letters. We need 8 letters, and it says after daughters. Now again, if we go to the dictionary, it won't surprise you, I'm sure. If we go under D and find probably small d, daughter. Okay. I would much rather see daughters there. Okay, this is probably my dictionary just being out of date. Because, oh, in fact, hang on. There's a missing apostrophe in this clue. I think this is a typesetting. But because the clue, lives so devastated after daughter's breakup. Well, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe in the modern chambers, daughters, plural, can be D, can be abbreviated to D. But imagine there was an apostrophe between the letter R and S of daughters. The clue would still make sense. Lives so devastated after daughters, i.e. a daughter's breakup. But you wouldn't need... But then we could use the fact that daughter is singular in the abbreviation. So I don't know. That could be my dictionary being out of date, or it could be a little error there in the clue. But what's the answer? Well, we D for daughter, and I think it's dissolve, isn't it? To break up is to dissolve. That feels like it's got the right anagram fodder. So let's go back to 5 down. Visit again soon. Don't leave it too long. Don't be a stranger. That's got ranger at the end. Okay, I must be right. I don't know why yet. It's got NT in it. Don't be a... Oh, beast in it as well. Mimic. Oh, okay. So if you mimic, if you're an impersonator, an impressionist, and you do somebody, you know, if you do David Cameron, you impersonate them, you mimic them, don't you? So mimic is do, animal is beast, and then park officer is ranger. So don't be a stranger is how the recipe works. And that's a good one. So now at least we've got some starting letters, and we just have to decide. Let's go for 6 down. 8 letters, beginning with S. Earl cutting key to open small window. Okay. I don't know what this is. Oh. No, okay, I still don't know. I still don't know what it is. I was about to say that I was pretty sure that the definition here was the word window. That's probably true. I then suddenly thought of isn't it the Earl of Sandwich? So I wondered whether actually Earl here could be defining sandwich as the answer. But that doesn't... I don't think that's right. I can't see how the rest of it works. Whereas if we try and... Let's cut the clue between small and window and try and read the start of the clue as a recipe. Earl can be E. Cutting key. Well, that suggests we put an E into a word that means key. And then to open small, could that mean it opens with the letter S? If you saw S on a t-shirt label, you'd know it meant small. So S is a valid abbreviation of small. That's definitely not in my old version of Chambers, but I think it is in newer versions. So a window could be an opportunity, a sash window. I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's been a fool's errand, hasn't it? Let's try 5 down, beginning with 5 down, 7 down, beginning with 5 letters beginning with O. Working interminably, tedious bar is initially given unwanted exposure. Working interminably. Tedious. Bar is initially given. Oh, goodness me. Every time I deal with John Henderson's puzzles, they just beat me up. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to read it properly. Working interminably. There's one beginning with V. Let's have a look at that. 9 letters. Farewell. Oh, I hope this isn't going to be Latin, but it might be. I don't even know how to say it. But veil, isn't that Latin for farewell? I'm pretty sure it is, so I will look it up. Veil. Yeah, farewell. Yeah, I don't know how I know that, because I never did Latin at school. It's one of the great regrets of my educational life. But anyway, farewell can move. Oh, Valentine. Valentine is the answer. Yeah, a kind of card is a valentine. Once we think of veil for farewell, it's not too difficult when you think card could be the definition to get to valentine, is it? Why is it valentine? How does the rest of the recipe work? Can, well, a can is a tin, isn't it? Tin. Move, ultimately, is saying take the ultimate letter of the word move. That's E. So now we've explained veil and tine. What's this N doing in the middle? It then says, but the recipe says, with note found inside. And if we go to our dictionary and look under N, we will find... we should find note. It is a valid abbreviation for N. So that is why that N is there, and that is why the answer is Valentine. At least that one was doable. Let's try 10 across. 4 letters. Small deserts for all that work. Or or if you desert, you leave. If you desert the army, you leave it, don't you? So given that we looked at this other clue and we said that S could be an abbreviation for small, could we read this clue as... Yeah, okay, yeah, we can. So as S deserts a 5-letter word that means for all that, and the whole thing means work. So this is a 4-letter word that means work. And what about the word till? If you're a farmer and you till your field, you work it, don't you? Plough it, I think. And still would mean for all that. So S is deserting still to give till. That's quite hard. That's quite hard. Let's go back to this one then. 7 letters. So no, I keep saying 7 letters. It's not. Working interminably. Tedious. Bar is initially. Oh, okay. Okay, I haven't got this yet, but I understand it now. So, oh, wow. Goodness me. Okay, I've got it. I don't blame myself for not being able to pass this clue immediately. It's really complicated. So, I'm going to tell you what the definition is here. And it's given unwanted exposure. So we're looking for a 5-letter word that means given unwanted exposure. Now, given I've just told you that, have a look at the rest of the clue and really take your time and try and understand how that could be read as a recipe. It's really difficult, but it's very, very clever and instructive at what John's done with this. So, interminably tedious. That is saying, take the word tedious without its termination, without its final letter. So TEDIOU. And then bar is initially is saying, we'll take TEDIOU except for bar the initial letter of the word is. Is initially is I, isn't it? And that gives you 5 letters of anagram fodder, which we work. Working is telling us that we need to anagram those letters. Again, if we work the soil, we would turn it over, wouldn't we? We'd change it. So again, all these recipes, if they involve anagrams, there has to be a word or a phrase that's telling you to anagram something. Now, so the word is outed. Given unwanted exposure is outed. Now, if you're new to puzzles, and I've just explained that, and you think that is impossible to understand, I agree with you. If you're new, it will be absolutely impossible. That is very, very hard for somebody who's been doing these puzzles for decades. So do not worry. The more you read them, the more they will become tractable. But don't please judge all clues by how hard that one is. That is brilliant. The way that the words are used grammatically is so misleading. But to me, I love that. I think it's incredible. But if you're new, don't worry. Don't worry. You're not expected to be able to get that one. And if you have got that and you are new, then drop us a comment under the video and brag, because you deserve to. Right, let's have a look at 12 across. 6 letters. I eat by what looks like 10. I eat. That's a brilliant clue. I've got this one. It's brilliant. How on earth do I explain this well? With the very best constructors, you have to be prepared for the definition, the quick crossword definition, to potentially be so ludicrous I cannot tell you. The recipe in this clue is everything in the clue that's after the first letter, which is I. I is the definition in this clue. And you might say, well, how can the letter I, be a definition? Well, we have to be aware of our periodic table. And if we're aware of our periodic table, we will know that I is the chemical symbol for iodine, which is the answer to this. And the recipe, eat, to dine, by what looks like 10, and I-O, if you look at it, it does look like 10, doesn't it? So I eat by what looks like 10 is iodine. That's fantastic. That is witty and fantastic. Right, let's have a look at 15 across 8 letters, beginning with A though. Fit shelves at intervals in loft. Okay. Actually, I should be able to solve this. Hang on. Yes, okay, I have got this one. The key here for me solving the clue was this phrase, in loft. Can we think of any synonyms for the word loft? And hopefully many of you are saying, oh, hang on, there's an A here. Could it be the word attic? And if you had that thought, brilliant, because you're basically all the way there to solving the clue. If you've come up with the thought that attic is involved in the answer here, and you see it's an 8-letter word, and if that's right, we're putting something in the word attic, aren't we? Because it says in loft, and we're looking for a word that means fit or fit shelves. Well, there aren't words that mean fit shelves, so it's going to mean fit. And you might be able to get it from that, but this phrase, shelves at intervals, if we see this, if it refers to taking things at intervals, or it might say regularly, or every now and then, or oddly, or evenly, what it's telling you to do is to take regularly occurring letters from the word shelves. So if we take the even numbered letters, we take the H, the L, and the E. And if we put that in the middle of attic, we can create athletic, which means fit. So that one's relatively easy, but only perhaps because we have the starting letter. Should we go back to this one? Is this sunlight? Skylight is a window. That must be. Okay, I'm going to write skylight in, but I'm prepared to change it. I just want to... It hasn't got... Oh. I thought it was going to have E in it, but I now see Earl cutting key is trying to say E, which is a valid abbreviation for Earl, is cutting, as in it's cutting and running from the word key, so it's leaving it. That just gives KY, which is this KY, and that's opening a 6-letter word which means small, which is slight. If you're slight, you're small. And therefore, and that gives the word the 8-letter word for the window, which is skylight. So we've not done terribly in the northeast corner. Let's go for 16 down. 5-4 beginning with E. Space to operate weapon that shoots Australian native in tree. I think, again, the best constructors can write clues that conjure images in your head. Those images are almost certain, or almost certainly useless, and will mislead you. So please do not read this and think of somebody throwing a boomerang at a koala. That is exactly what John wants you to think, and I bet you it's got nothing to do with this. Space to operate. Weapon that shoots. Australian native in tree. I don't know what this is. If I was guessing, I think this will be the name of a tree. The only reason I think that is this word space at the start of the clue. In printing, there are two types of space that we see sometimes in crosswords, the N and the M. So let's actually just look those up in the dictionary to explain what I mean. The N, yeah, look here, half of an M in printing. So if we go to M, here, the unit of measurement used in spacing material. So N and M are spaces. So could this begin with N or M? To operate weapon. M. Operate weapon that shoots. To fire. Fur. I don't know. I think if we get this letter, it might be good. 19 across. 4 letters. Probable second option if A is no extras. I mean, that is the most terrifying clue. What on earth is that bracketed A doing in that clue? Probable second option. B, if A is no extras. What? Oh, I've got that. I've got that. I don't quite know how I've solved that, but I have got that. Okay. The only way to solve this is to be mad, but I fully meet that criteria. No, the way to solve this is to cut the clue exactly in the correct position again. So if we cut the clue between no and extras, probable second option if A is no. Well, I think what John is saying, if you were looking at choices and it says A no, then B might be yes. And buys in cricket are extras. I mean, that's very hard. That's very hard. But again, it's brilliant. I might have given that an exclamation because it's just so it's such lunacy. Now, okay, so if this is the name of a tree, it can't be ENB. It's going to be EMB, isn't it? EMB. Ember. and this is where my lack of botanical knowledge will bite me, because there's probably a famous tree called an ember pine or something, but I don't know it. Space to operate. Weapon that shoots. Australian. What about a weapon that shoots? Could be a... Oh no, that I was thinking, could that be bazooka? And then have Oz removed from it for Australia. No, that doesn't work, does it? Native in tree. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's try and get 23 across then. 8 letters. No one on the credit side making concessions. Yeah, okay. Again, the key to this is to know a little bit of accountancy and to split the clue in the correct place. So again, try and decide for yourselves. It's always the best practice. If you're new to these puzzles, learning how to read the clue is most of it. And if you're cutting this clue between the word side and the word making, well done. So we're looking for an 8-letter word that means making concessions. Question mark. We'll talk about what the question mark means in a moment. No one on the credit side. Well, no one on the credit side. If no one's on the credit side, everybody would be owing money. So all would be owing. So making concessions is allowing. Now, why is the question mark there? I think that question mark there is referring to the recipe part of the clue, the no one on the credit side, because it is no one on the credit side, all owing. It's very punny, and that's what John's getting at. And that's why I'm a little bit surprised that one didn't have some sort of question mark or exclamation mark referring to that wordplay, which is definitely punny as well. But anyway, all owing is what we need there. We've got an N at the start of 24 down, which is 5 letters. Outfits playing on diamonds, contributing to fashion in essence. Okay, I can do this one. Now, I say this every week, but it bears repetition. In almost all Times crosswords, there is now up to 2 of this type of clue. Oh, that's elbow, is it? Oh, anyway, elbow room. That's going to be elbow room. Anyway, this clue is what we call a hidden. What does that mean? It means the answer is actually spelt out in the clue. Sometimes that can be in straightforward order, sometimes it can be reversed if the clue tells you it's hidden as a reversal. But here it's actually hidden as a straightforward. And the constructor, John, has to tell you that he's hidden the answer in the clue. So this phrase, contributing to, is saying that the answer that we're going to write in here has contributed to the string of letters fashion in essence. And if you look at that N in fashion and look at the letters that follow, we've got N-I-N-E-S, nines, and that is the answer. And you may say, what's that got to do with outfits playing on diamonds? Well, this is a reference, I think, to baseball, which is played on a diamond in the US, and I think there are 9 people in a baseball team. I hope that's true. They never look like there are as many as 9. We've got the ones on the bases, the bowler. What's the bowler called? Pitcher. The pitcher. The stopper. Is that the short stop? There must be some fielders as well. Anyway, I think there's 9. So 9s is the answer there. Now let's go back to this one. 16 down. Now, space must be elbow room, mustn't it? So that my thoughts about N's and M's are totally useless. To operate a roo. A roo is a kangaroo, isn't it? Australian native. Yes, okay. So to operate... Oh no, right. So Where do we cut the clue? Well, it's actually not after the word space, it's after the word operate. So space to operate is elbow room. Weapon that shoots is a bow, as in a bow and arrow. Australian native is a roo, as in a kangaroo. And what we get is bow and roo appearing in the name of a tree, which is the elm. An elbow room can go in. Let's go for 20 down, 6 letters. Made a copy of one with a different partner. Made a copy of one. This is an interesting clue because it might be useful for this one across answer. The way I read this, I haven't got this at all, is I think we're looking for a 6-letter word that means made a copy of. And I wish I could think of what that... I wish I could think of... cloned would be good, wouldn't it? Cloned. Yeah, and it could be cloned. If it was cloned, how would it work? Well, one with a different partner. This one here, I think, is referring to the answer at clue number 1, which is one across here. Now, let's imagine that the answer to this was closed, which I think it might be. Oh goodness, I've gone crazy. Yeah, I'm not surprised I couldn't understand one across, but anyway, if the answer to this was closed, let's read 20 down again and see if it makes sense. One with a different partner. Well, the answer at 1 was closed. If that has a different partner, this is referring to a different bridge partner, not a different marriage partner, a different bridge partner. Now, in bridge, the partners are north and south and east and west. And you can see that the S here in the word closed has become the N. So this looks really correct to me. Cloned, made a copy of, closed with a different partner. Now, for this to be true, of course, one across has to have the answer of closed. Now look at this start of this clue, 2. If a door in your house is 2, push the door 2, we might say, what do we mean? We mean close it. So the door is 2, it's closed. Now how does the rest of this work? Run slow. Recording takes. Oh. So is run slow lose? If a clock runs slow, it loses time. So maybe lose means run slow. And then recording is a CD, compact disc, has taken a word that means run slow. So let's look at lose in the dictionary. I'm certainly not changing it. It must be correct. There. Of a clock or watch to go slow. Run slow. I mean, that's absolutely perfect, isn't it? I mean, the brilliancy of this is that the word to, it's a bit like the I in that other one. It's very hard, even with experience, to read that clue and think, oh, well, to is the definition. Your brain just doesn't work like that unless you're solving a John Henderson puzzle. Now, that might be Damask or something like that. 28 across, 6 letters. Red Putin's agreed to conceal. Yeah, okay. So, you see here the phrase Putin's agreed. This is not referring to something that Vladimir Putin has agreed to. This is referring to the fact that Putin is a Russian, and the Russian word, if a Russian agreed to something, they would say yes. Da is how a Russian would say yes. So Putin's agreed is Putin's word for yes, DA. So if this had read Macron's agreed, it would have been oui, yes, as in the French word for agreed. So da, if you conceal something, you mask it, and damask is a shade of red. Let's go for that one as well while we're down here, because that should be gettable, shouldn't it? 26 across, 2, 8. Putting on a motley on pain of death. What? Why can't I just write that in? Putting on a motley on pain of death. What's this word here? Come on, Simon, just think of it. What is it? My brain is not telling me what this word is. Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's so dense. Putting on a motley. It's not an anagram, is it? 7, 8, 9. It could be an anagram. Motley. Could motley be an anagram indicator, and it's an anagram of... But if it was, on pain of death... It would. It could be an anagram. Maybe it's a foreign phrase. It could be Latin again. John, I think, loves torturing me with Latin. Double T to put in. P as well. At gunpoint, on pain of death. At gunpoint. Okay. No, it wasn't Latin. Thank you, John, for not putting any Latin in, apart from veil, so far at least. So putting on a is treated in a motley way. So if we look at motley, it sort of means two-coloured, doesn't it? Multicoloured, variegated. So if something is variegated, it's sort of mixed, isn't it? And I think that's why it's being used as an anagram indicator. So putting on a, we anagram, and if you're on pain of death, you're looking at the gun, aren't you? You're at gunpoint. Now we have got some starting letters to these 2, 3 and 4 down. So let's see if we can, actually let's go for 9 across. If we could get this, I'd have a good chance, I think, of getting 2, 3 and 4 down. So 9 across, 5, 5, remuneration, something money, comprises 1,000,001 notes. That remuneration comprises 1,000,001 notes. I don't know. I mean, it's very likely to be money here. I can't think of what this word is. Let's see if it is money there. Let's look at 4 down. 6 letters. 1 of 28 days threatening to boycott Trump and Co. Wow. 1 of 28 days. That seems like it's going to be February or a month or something like that. Threatening to boycott Trump and Co. Donald? Are they Donalds? One of 28. Oh, that couldn't be. It couldn't be that, could it? One of Damascus. Somebody from Damascus. Is it if somebody is from Damascus, would they be one out of Damask? I'm not sure if you're from Damascus whether you are referred to as a Damask. Days threatening to boycott Trump and Co. I mean, Trump and Co. It's trying to make. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make me think of Trump and Co. as sort of collective governments or government of the United States. But I'm wondering if it's a more prosaic meaning. You know, Trump's name is Don or Donald. So Trump and Co. Could that be Donald's? Could that be what's going on? And then we're taking D. No, but why is it threatening to boycott? Why is it just not boycotting? Days threatening. I don't know. I'm interested. This is a really interesting clue. Oh, and actually, if that was an M, that puts pay to my idea of this. Somebody from Syria. I don't know. Not sure. I'm sorry. I should know what that's doing, and I don't. Let's try this one. 11 across, 8 letters. Send over, cross, then thump opener. That's a good clue. So, I mean, it's so redolent of a football situation, isn't it? Send over, cross, then thump. That jab, opener. Opener's such a difficult word there. Is that some sort of weird key? Something that opens something? Doorknob? Well, that could be right. Oh. Door something. I think, I mean, I want it to be knob. Oh, bonk. That's very clever. Yeah, doorknob is the answer here. Wow. I mean, that's a brilliant clue again. Send over cross. Why? I mean, you have to know that rood, R-O-O-D, is a type of cross. And don't worry if you don't know that. I mean, that's real crossword ease, that is. Christ's cross, a cross or crucifix. I mean, it puts it there and you just, oh, and many of you, I'm sure, will be watching this saying, oh, that's not crossword ease, that's totally, you know, everybody knows that. I don't think everybody knows that a rood is a cross, but it is. So send over the word rood, we get door. Then, what it's saying, then thump, that is not the word knob. It's saying, then send over a word that means thump. And if you bonk somebody, I think you thump them. So you then send over bonk. And it all gives you doorknob, which is an opener, in the sense it's something you could use to open the door. I mean, it's very hard, but very brilliant. 2 down, 5 letters. Plain figures in rollover of national lottery. A plane is a Lano, I know that. I don't know quite how that relates to the clue. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so we looked here at a hidden. Now, in the Times Now, this didn't used to be the case. I think sort of 3 or 4 years ago, this was not allowed for there to be 2 hiddens in a Times crossword. Now, it is allowed, but they can't both be forward hidden. So this was a forward hidden. Fashion, in essence, spells out in order, in normal reading order, the answer. But look at this one, Lano. Figures in row. So it's saying that figuring in, i.e. featuring in, a rollover of a reversal of the phrase national lottery is spelt out L-L-A-N-O, which is a word for a plane. Oh, not llama, Lano. One of the vast steppes or plains in the northernmost part of South America. Again, a word, frankly, I only know from crosswords. I mean, let's just admire the clue. Oh, let's admire the clue, though. It figures in the rollover of the national lottery. That is beautiful, isn't it? Because the rollover of the national lottery is such a phrase we're all familiar with. Oh, it's a rollover in the lottery. I mean, it's just that, and then plain figures, because obviously in the lottery they draw numbers. So to use figures in to mean features in is just wonderful. It's a wonderfully flexible use of language. Let's go for 3 down. 9 letters. Fine quality sheerness. Woman is protecting. It must be sheerness, I think. That's a fine. If you have a fine quality, you have a sheer quality. Woman is she's. She's, yeah. She apostrophe S for woman is. Protecting, surrounding. Seabirds, urns, E-R-N-E-S. An urn is a sea eagle. Again, a word you'll only really come across in crosswords, but there it is, sea eagle. So sheerness is what we're looking for there. Now this is bad because these checking letters that I got in 9 across are not helpful letters. Remuneration comprises a million. It must be, paper money is what we're looking for. Yeah, okay, so the way I got that is I finally thought of a short synonym for remuneration, rather that wasn't wages. Pay. Your pay is your remuneration. And pay, P-A-Y, comprises, includes, well, per capita would mean a head, wouldn't it? Per means a. Million, M. One, O-N-E, the word one. And then notes, as in physical banknotes, would be paper money. And unfortunately, this 4 down clue, domino? Oh. Are there 28 dominoes? It could be. There'll be 21 without doubles, won't there? And then there'll be 6 doubles. Do you get a double blank or not in dominoes? I bet there are 28. Domino will be the answer. I don't know why yet. Days threatening to boycott Trump and co. Oh, ominous. Wow, that's so hard. Okay, that's so hard. Days is D. Let's look at that in the dictionary. I'm sort of stunned at how hard that clue is. Oh, a day is there, but I'm sure it's days as well. I mean, it is. On a calendar, you'd see a D, and it could mean days. Let me just see. It doesn't seem to be there. It's a bit like that daughters one earlier, but I'm sure it can be days. So I think days is D, and then threatening is ominous. And that's being the word ominous is being boycotted by US, which John has defined as Trump and co, as in, as if Trump and co means the whole of America. I mean, that question mark almost needs a double question mark. So there we go. That's what's going on in that one. And now we've done 3/4 of the puzzle near enough, which is a great, well, it's a great relief, but we won't get ahead of ourselves. Let's try 13 across 4 letters. Prime locations for cherries. This one. What does that mean? Prime locations for cherries. I wonder if that could be... all right, I'm going to say the answer to this is here. If you haven't got that, it's worth having a think about why I think that might be the answer. So I won't say, give yourselves 10 minutes. Or 10 minutes? What? Well, you can give yourself 10 minutes if you want. More like 10 seconds. Give yourself 10 seconds and try and see if you can think why that might be the answer. For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations. I think what John's saying here with this phrase, prime locations for cherries, is we have to take the prime numbered letters in the word cherries. Now the early prime numbers are 2, 3, 5 and 7. So we take the second, third, fifth and seventh letters of the word cherries, H-E-R-E, and we get here, and this one might be something you'd say, if you had something around this one, you'd mean here, wouldn't you? I mean, again, I'm not going to claim that that is simple. It's not at all. But I think that's what's going on. Now let's try 14 down. 9 letters. Focus is what's under this impressive dish. Finally lifted. Focus. I want that to be sort of eye line or something. Focus is what's under this. No, this is a reference to earthquakes. The epicenter is the place. So I think an earthquake happens in the ground at the focus, and then the epicenter is what you then sort of go up to where the earth, the surface of the earth. That's the epicenter, where actually the earthquake's effect first hits the surface. So focus is what's under this, is defining the epicenter of the earthquake. Now, impressive is epic. A dish is an entree with a double E at the end, and finally lifted means remove the last letter of. If you steal the last letter, if you lift something, you steal it, don't you? So I think that's what's going on there. And it's a wonderful clue again. But it's wonderful because of the wording of the definition. Focus is what's under this impressive dish. And again, John going to the nth degree to make it impossible to read the clue correctly. Now, let's look at this one. 18 across, 8 letters. Hide behind young woman as... Oh, okay. So, can you see anything odd about that clue? And I'm sure most of you are going like, is that a typo? Is that like that other clue that might have had a typo? This seems to definitely have a typo. Necessary has only one C in it. So this is a misspelling of the word necessary. But look at these letters we've got. So I think the answer is misspelt. Why is it misspelt? Well, the recipe has to tell us that. Hide. A hide is a skin or a pelt. And that goes behind a young woman who is a miss. So we get mispelt. And necessary is an example of something that has been misspelt. Now, unfortunately, all the rest of the checking letters we've got here are not very appetizing. Let's go for 21, 6 letters. Court action. I'm wondering if that's just tennis. Reversed. In the end, defendants in clear. It's not tennis, is it? There's something going on with tennis and the word net. Reversed. In the end, defendants in... I think it is tennis. I think what's going on here is court action. That's some action that might occur in a court, not in a legal sense, but a tennis court. So some tennis might go on in a court. It's an action that might be performed in a court. And then the recipe, the way that works is we have to think of in the end defendants is saying take the word defendants, the end letter of the word defendants, and that's S. then the whole of the word in, so S-I-N. If you clear something, it's your net profit, isn't it? We cleared, £10. We netted £10. So is in net is all then reversed, and we get tennis. Now we might be able to make use of that with 22 down. 5 letters. Not at the outset aware of dress fabric. I'm trying not to sneeze. I don't quite know what this is, but I think it's the name of a fabric, or maybe a dress fabric. Is it ninon or something like that? Is that a type of? Something. I'm obviously nylon is there as well, but I was thinking, if you're aware of something, you're in on it, aren't you? Oh, well, no, okay, that's right. So the way you have to read the clue is not at the outset, is saying take the outset, the initial letter of the word not. So it's not saying not at the outset, it's actually saying N, it's saying not at the outset. So that's N, and then if you're aware of something, you're in on it, and that does give you ninon, which I think is some sort of fabric, presumably a dress fabric. Silk voile, is that how you say that? Or other thin fabric? Okay, but that's good. That's another answer for the goodies. So 25 across 4 letters. Is this Eton for college? One at last bound for new college. Okay, so I don't think this is a reference to going to is a new college in Oxford? I'm not sure. But one at last is saying take the last letter of the word one. E. Bound for, if you're on a train and you're bound for Luton, you're going to Luton. And then new obviously can be abbreviated to N. I say obviously, but it's not an unreasonable abbreviation, and it will be there if we look it up. Let's do that. Let's do that and be diligent. New. There we go. So, okay, now we've got 2 left. Now, which one are we going to look at first? I think we should let's look at 17. Oh, there's a lot of words in this clue. 8 letters. Odd threesome in the bed adopting equally loopy bedroom appliance. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, your mind could run wild if you want to let this conjure up images in your brain. Odd threesome in the bed adopting equally loopy bedroom appliance. What the blazes is going on here? That's exactly what you might say if you walked in on this. Odd threesome in the bed. Adopting equally loopy bedroom appliance. Are there bedroom appliances? I don't know. I'm going to have to look at 27 across 8 letters. Dancer perhaps. Well, my immediate thought there is that one of Santa's reindeer was called Dancer, so I'm hoping that's what the answer is. Announced time for Queen and honey. Yes, lovely. So this is a homophone. I think this is the first homophone in today's puzzle, but this is a very common feature of cryptic crosswords. So it's words that sound like other words but are spelt differently and have different meanings. So then the thing that tells us that we're thinking about homophone is this word announced. It's saying something you might hear would be announced, wouldn't it? A time for a queen would be the time the queen was reigning. R-E-I-G-N. It sounds exactly the same as this. And honey is sort of a sweetheart would be a honey, and that would be dear, as in D-E-A-R. So we spell that slightly differently. Reindeer, dancer perhaps. Now, unfortunately, that has not given us an awful lot of help with our bedroom appliance. Odd threesome in the bed. There were 3 in the bed. No, and the little one said, no, can't be that. Odd threesome in the bed. Odd threesome in the bed, adopting equally loopy. Bedroom appliance. What is going on with this? A bedroom appliance. Is that like a hairdryer or a toothbrush or a... no, that's not... Equally... okay. I've got it. Okay, the way I got this is this phrase equally loopy. I couldn't think of what that was. And then I thought of, could that be, if you're equally loopy, you're as mad, aren't you? And then I tried to put that in there, and then that got me the answer. Because is a tease made? That's something you might have in the bedroom. Now that's got T-E-E. So odd threesome in the bed. It's not referring to what you think it is. It's saying take the odd numbered letters, and there are 3 of them, that's why it's threesome, in the phrase the bed. And that would be the 1st, 3rd and 5th letter, which are T, E and E. And they adopt as mad for equally loopy and give us the tease made, which is the bedroom appliance. That is very, very clever and not of me. But that is how to solve it. And it is correct. And there was no doubt, was there? That's the standard of cluing there. Once they seem impossible, but once you really think about them, there is only one answer. It's a beautiful puzzle, and very hard, and I loved it. And so thank you to John, who I may see tomorrow. He's normally at the Times Crossword Championship and has a good chance of winning it, and has won it before. Anyway, I will now hopefully unembarrass myself, or probably re-embarrass myself, by having a quick go, hopefully, at the quick cryptic. So let's see if we can race on this one. Who's it by? Wurm. Prisoner cracking jaw. Confab is the answer to that. Streetcar crossing close to you. Trauma, I think. Okay, look at these starting letters. Morbidly fat. I'm going to go for obese without reading it. Wild about editor describe. Federal. Feral is somehow involved in that. Voice criticism, a short novel, yeah. Steamy row. Troubled Huck's friend Tom Sawyer, I presume. Perspective of Germanic invader. Angle, I think. Is that Maestro? I think it is. Okay, so that's a decent start. Top level clearance is headroom. No! Glen, I'm going to go for. Yeah, that is right. Put up with English filling pub. Bear. Attempt to secure, but travesty, I think. Somehow resolved to disregard very menacing words or else. Colour, I'm going to go for yellow. For belligerent tug of war, I imagine. If I could type. Magistrate, I want that to be Doge, but it might not be. Let's go for that. Take down spoiled old Olympic event. Taekwondo, gosh. Is that how you spell that? I don't even know. I think this is a word I often misspell. I have misspelt it. I think it's O there. Meeting of old reunion. Yeah. Hair of the dog. Scientist may need it. Lab coat. Yeah, that's right. That's actually right. Exposed cheat. Outdo. A long time taken over stadium. That's arena, I think. End of sunbathing in tan. Okay, so we did a lot of it. Now, magistrate. miserable. I'm really... Magistrate. Beak. Bleak. Yes. Clue. Wraith in Tolkien hides. Hint. Nitrogen. Let's just put it in. In toto. Decent band to split. Decent, not bad. There we go. Okay. So if I haven't made an error, which is true, 9th, nah, not absolutely dreadful. Given I was talking a little bit and have to type at an angle. So, I mean, it would have been much quicker. It would definitely have been much quicker, at least 30 seconds quicker with that. No, and even if I had been 30 seconds quicker, I would have still lost by 30 seconds to Chloe. I mean, what? How could you be a minute quicker? I didn't really think. I mean, it's so sobering. Did I actually think? I must have done. But I didn't feel like I spent I spent a moment on thinking that was Doge. I didn't feel like I thought I suppose I spent a moment misspelling taekwondo. I mean, that is so distressing. That is so distressing. A minute quicker. I mean, John McCabe is still absolutely... I mean, this is so sobering. I cannot tell you. Because, I mean, I don't mind losing by miles if I mess it up. But, like, when it felt like it wasn't that bad and I still lost by miles, that is distressing. Did Mark have a go at this one? No, it doesn't look like he did. There's no way he would be this slow unless he made an error. Gosh, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Andrew Fisher is a brilliant solver, and I was 30 seconds faster than him, but I was 1 minute 1 second slower. I mean, that's astonishing. It's just, I mean, it's astonishing, isn't it? Is that astonishing? It feels astonishing to me. I don't know. There is no way that my brain could have made up a minute there. And even if I was a perfect typist, I couldn't have made up a minute. I couldn't have done. It's just so distressing. So distressing. I'll call this video, "This is so distressing," and no one will watch. But never mind. If you are still here and you are still watching my travails, please do. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please leave a comment, preferably a kind one. We do like those more. It tries to help with the algorithm, which doesn't love cryptic crosswords nearly as much as it should, in my opinion. And let's try and get these wonderful, wonderful puzzles a wider audience. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I might meet some of you tomorrow, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.